Welcome to the Chocolate Drive. I'm your host, Chip Chocolate. Today, we've got a real treat for you because we're diving into the most mind-blowing, jaw-dropping, unofficial shortcuts in Monster Jam Showdown. Are these unofficial shortcuts fair game, or are they straight up cheating? Should the developers fix these sneaky tricks, or do you love them just the way they are? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button if you're ready for some wild action, and don't forget to subscribe to us so you never miss out on all the cool monster truck madness. Now, let's get rolling. Buckle up because it's time to dive into our first shortcut. We are headed to the frozen wilderness of Alaska on the legendary Northern Nitro Rush circuit. Follow along as Little Chip takes you to the shortcut. Here it is. Instead of driving all the way to the top of this hill, you want to turn left and cut the track by jumping between the last two tire stacks on the final turn of the circuit. That's it. That's the shortcut. Little Chip is going to drive around one more time and show you guys the shortcut. This time, he's going to show you what happens if you don't jump in between the last two tire stacks. And then we'll move on to our next shortcut on Glacier Turbo Thrill. Here we are approaching the shortcut point again, but this time he's going to try and take it a bit earlier than before. Watch what happens. He gets reset. That's because you have to go between these last two tire stacks to make the shortcut count and don't get reset by the game. Now, let's move on to Glacier Turbo Thrill and show you our next mind-blowing shortcut. Trust me, this one totally destroys the map. Here we go. The first shortcut on this map is actually at the start. You're going to need a good start or perfect start to get some boost so you can jump across the track like this. Now guys, fair warning, this shortcut is high risk and sometimes you do get reset back to the starting line or the trucks can hit you. Now Little Chip is going to drive around and show you a game changer of a shortcut on this map. It's a 1+ lap glitch. That's right, a 1+ lap glitch. Let's sit back as he takes us to the next shortcut point. Little Chip is now approaching the next shortcut, and here's what you want to do. Drive here by these signs, drop down, take the next ramp, but jump sideways off the ramp back down onto the track. Notice, we went forward by 1 lap. You pause, turn around, and drive back around. You can actually take the shortcut again, and that's exactly what Little Chip is going to do. Here we go, he's back around to the shortcut point. Remember, cut the track here at these signs and drop down onto the track below. Head across the ramp, jump off of it sideways, dropping down onto the track below. Remember, you want to watch that lap counter in the right corner of the screen. Make sure that it goes up by 1. Sometimes you may get reset when taking this shortcut. If you get reset after it goes up by 1, you will be reset at the finish line. Now, let's head over to the Arctic Thunder Speedway so we can show you our last set of shortcuts in the Alaska maps. Here we are at Arctic Thunder Speedway, approaching our first shortcut, which is right here, this ramp. Instead of going straight, you want to boost and go to the right. That will allow you to bounce up off the snow and land to the track below. The next shortcut is straight ahead. Fair warning, this little snow pile will cause you to hit the shortcut at a very bad angle and it can possibly cause you to crash. we're going to take the truck around again one more time and show you how lethal those shortcut combinations can be in an actual race. Here we go. Remember, you want to boost off this ramp to the right, bounce off this snow here, and land onto the track below. Then you want to turn right and head straight for this ramp right here. It's actually a backflip ramp. I wonder if they put that in the game on purpose. But you want to hit that ramp and just ramp up over the track, landing straight in front of the finish line. The combination of both of those shortcuts effectively cuts the track in half and gives you a completely new competitive edge in racing. Now let's move on to the next track in Alaska. I know we said this was the last one, but Little Chip reminded me that I made a mistake. We're going to head over to the Frostbite Fast Lane Glacier Blaze track for our final shortcut on the Alaska maps. Here it is. This shortcut is pretty simple. It's on Frostbite Fast Lane Glacier Blaze, and what we're going to do is drive around. Now, normally most people go over these double ramps and cut across, but you don't even want to go over the ramp. You want to come right here, drive slowly, and drop down in front of the finish line. That's it. That's a shortcut. It's a pretty easy one to do. Little Chip is going to go around again and show you one more time before we move on to the shortcuts on the Colorado maps. Here we go again, back at the shortcut point. This time, Little Chip is going to make a mistake, and he's going to ramp a bit too high. That will cause you to get reset. What you want to do is come here and slowly drive over this point and drop in front of the finish line. And that is it for all the shortcuts in Alaska. Now, let's move on to Colorado. The first shortcut that we're going to show you guys is on the high altitude monster trails in Colorado, and it's our favorite map in the game. This shortcut's pretty easy, and it's also one of those shortcuts that makes me think they actually put this in the game for you to find. What you want to do is boost straight ahead, go through these tire stacks, you'll hit a ramp and fly up and over the track. Now you want to make sure you have some good aim when you hit that ramp, because you can hit the trees on the track and that will set you back. Here's a good look at that shortcut one more time. Once again, you want to come to this point, turn left, have a lot of boost, and boost straight ahead, up and through these tire stacks, over the track, landing right at this point. That's the only shortcut on the high altitude monster trails, and now we're going to move on to the next track in Colorado. Here we are at the second track. This one is the Golden Grove Trail, and Little Chip is going to take us to the first shortcut. You need lots of boost, because what you're going to do is turn right here and go full boost into this ditch and ramp out and over this tiny mountain. I want you guys to know that is a high risk shortcut, because you could hit the sign and crash like that, or the trucks can come around and hit you after the landing. But it is well worth the risk in taking it, as it puts you way ahead of the trucks. Little Chip will now drive over to the second shortcut that he found on the Golden Grove Trail. Here's the second shortcut on this track. What you want to do is drive up to this little forest piece right here, drive in between these two trees and hit boost. You will come out onto the next side. If you don't boost, you will get stuck in there and reset. You also want to be careful, because you can keep hitting those two trees and getting stuck, and it will set you back. Now, Little Chip will drive around one more time and show you the shortcuts again. Here we go. We're up at the first shortcut, which is at the start. Full boost into the ditch, up and over that little mountain piece and then landing back down onto the track. Here's the final look at the last shortcut on Golden Grove Trail. You're going to come up around this corner and drive right to this point here at the forest. Go between these two trees and drive out onto the next side. Like I said earlier, you want to be careful because, as you can see there, he hit one of those trees. He was a bit lucky to get out onto the next side, but he could have hit one of the trees earlier and got stuck in there and reset. Now, let's move on to Rocky Crest Circuit. On this track, there are two shortcuts. The first one is a glitch, and here is how to perform it. First, drive through these tire stacks right here and allow your truck to fall onto the track below. The game will reset you on top of the ramp like this, and you just drive down the ramp again and allow your truck to fall to the bottom. You can continue racing from this point forward. That shortcut is a bit high risk because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so just try it at your own risk. Now Little Chip will take us back around for the next shortcut. Here's the final shortcut on this track. You want to drive over this bridge, slow down a bit, and then turn to the left. You want to line this up correctly like we did here, and you want to make sure you have a lot of boost so that you can boost over this part of the track, up and through the trees. Then you land on the next side. That shortcut tends to be a bit high risk as well, because you do have to slow down and line it up to jump over those trees, and sometimes you can get stuck on the tree itself. So take that one at your own risk. Finally, let's move on to our last shortcut, which is going to be on the Desert Highroad. This is the only track in the Death Valley region that has an unofficial shortcut. All the other ones do not have one. This one is pretty easy, and there are two ways to take it. First, you want to drive here, turn, and drive up this little part right here. You're going to need some boost, but be careful. Once you land, you want to go and hit those crates, because if you don't, you will get reset back to the finish line. Then you just ramp up over and continue racing. Now, Little Chip is going to drive back around and show you the easier way to take that shortcut. Little Chip has made it back to the starting line. Instead of turning to the right and taking the shortcut the way he did earlier, he goes around the track normally, but instead of jumping over the ramp, he's just going to turn to the right and drop down and boost over that ramp there and continue racing. He will go back around one more time to show you guys what happens if you don't have enough boost to make it over the ramp. Here he is again, going around the track for the final time. This time he's going to boost too soon and he won't have enough speed to go over the ramp. Watch what happens. He gets reset. So remember, when taking the shortcut, make sure you have enough boost to jump over the second ramp so you don't get reset.